Wissen Sie, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, was mir bei diesen Filmen, vor allem von den Köchen aus dem Norden, immer wieder auffällt? Die brauchen keine Küchengeräte, weil die kochen ja im Wald. Die laufen ständig irgendwo in der Natur rum, stehen also gar nie in der Küche. Und ja, alles, was sie brauchen, wird nicht geliefert per Camion, sondern holen sie gleich selber im Wald, auf dem Feld, im Meer oder auf der Jagd ab. Ob das stimmt oder ob das nur ein Klischee ist oder ich jetzt einfach bitterböse neidisch bin auf das wunderbare Leben im Norden, das erfahren wir jetzt von Nicolai Nørregaard und seinem Headchef von Kilometer, die jetzt hier bitte auf der Bühne zu begrüßen sind. Welcome on stage. Welcome on stage.
Thank you.
Welcome. I'm happy you didn't understand what I already told him.
I understood a little bit of it. I understand a little bit of German, yes. So.
Schade. No, I mean, this is what your idea, your philosophy is all about. It's about bringing Bornholm in the kitchen, from the kitchen, on the platters, to the guest.
Yes.
In a few words.
Yes, in a few words, very few words. Yeah.
Okay, so everything is told, start cooking. No. Let's talk about your restaurants. Bornholm, the Kadeau in Bornholm, the first one. Then came the second one with another friend in Copenhagen. And now, 2017, you changed mind and said, must be smaller. We had 72 places in the first one. That's too big. Right. Let's make it smaller. Why?
You know, we wanted to evolve a little bit, make it, be able to make, you know, a little bit more nicer food. Touch it a little bit more and be able to bring more of the preservations into the kitchen without being able to do like 15 tons every year. So we thought, why not make it smaller so we can, you know, make it a little bit more better.
Because we were talking already about this specialty in the north of preserving food, of preserving vegetables. You make about 7 tons every year of so where did you get the time from to do this all? I mean, and we see you running around on the fields and the woods.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, a wonderful life you have up there in Bornholm.
Yeah, it's stressful. Imagine pickling 7 tons of wild nature every year and preserve them for the winter. That's a lot of work. But when we first headed out in 2007, we thought we would do some Bornholm terroir food. You know, in the wake of the first Nordic godfathers of Noma, and we thought we could do this on our beautiful, homey, small island, and because the nature there is very rich, it's very diverse compared to the rest of the Nordic countries. So we would take that and, you know, make it into something beautiful, hopefully. And to do that, we had to think about the seasons, look back on old traditions. How do we keep things? How do we preserve them for the winter? That has always been done, but mainly with grown vegetables or meats. We wanted to take it even further and use the wild nature as well. So we headed out on a, you know, exploration of the wild nature and found new ingredients to use in the kitchens and new ingredients to preserve and new ways of doing it. Into syrups, vinegars, just sugar pickles, salt pickles, dried ferments, all these kinds of things. It's an amazing world.
And the motto is, there's nothing that not can be cooked?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of things that can be cooked. Right?
Yeah.
I think we found a few. I mean,
do you surprise yourself sometimes when you try things in research and development?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we tried to cook like a log, wood. Didn't work, you know. So no, I mean, no.
Needs a good knife.
Yeah,
at the end.
A very good knife. No, I mean, yes, I'm surprised about how rich nature is and how many cool ingredients out there that has not seen a day of light in a kitchen before. Yeah. So I'm not surprised by the use of it, but I'm surprised to, you know, being able to still find new ingredients and still find new uses of them. That's very.
I mean, the restaurant in Bornholm is really somewhere in the nowhere of nothing.
Yes.
In the heart of the nature and nothing around. And Copenhagen is completely different. And now, what is your experience by getting smaller from 72 places to 24 places? Life's much easier, or it's getting harder?
Oh, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah. Then we just focus on, putting more work into the dishes than putting the work into the big amounts of mise en place.
Yeah.
So now we can focus on, more on taste than on quantities, which is also one of the big reasons why we did it. So no, it's not been easier. No.
What doesn't mean that you are not so many chefs in the kitchen.
Oh, we're more.
So less places, less guests, more chefs.
Less income. Yeah, that's true.
How does it work?
It doesn't work.
Okay.
To make like gastronomy on a high level is challenging. So yes, we struggle for guests, and we fill the restaurant, and still it's like more or less just making a big hole in the ground. And but the Bornholm restaurant is a lot cheaper for us because we bought it like 12 years ago, and it was not that expensive. We didn't renovate that much. We want to keep it as more or less like it is.
Rural?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a summer house.
Original, yeah.
And we don't want to change too much about that.
Okay.
We're going to build a new kitchen soon, I hope. But so we make more money on that island, especially in the high season where we are open 7 days a week, lunch and dinner, and still cook beautiful food. But the turnaround is bigger there, so that keeps the boat floating, I'd say.
Here in Switzerland, we always say that the cities are financing the rural areas. So in Denmark, it's the opposite. The rural island finances the big city of Copenhagen.
In our case, I think it's only in our case, yes.
Let's cook.
Okay.
Let's cook. So, what we start, we're going to do 6 dishes today. What we're going to see?
We'll try to make 6 dishes. Instead of cooking too much, we decided on presenting a few more dishes than only cooking a few. So that is why we're gonna, plate a bit of food for you. Some of the classics from the past 2 years, maybe. You saw a few of them.
Yeah, a few of them, the asparagus, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And,
so let's start with the first one.
Yes, let's do it.
Go on.
All right. First one we're going to do is it's a cracker, which is a piece of bread. We baked it with a dried seaweed to give this more deep umami flavor to it, but also to make it more crisp. It crispens up a bit the bread, or the bite to it. And we add some of our homemade squid miso to give this even more depth of umami. And an emulsion made from cockles. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And apples that we preserved in lilac syrup.
In?
Lilac.
Lilac, yeah.
Syrup.
You've already heard this from Titi before?
She also made lilac?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Could you chop the flowers from the fridge? I would be grateful. And this is to add a bit of sweet acidity to the bite. This is a very intense bite. It's small, but it's extremely powerful and complex in taste because we put, so many ingredients on. Okay.
And is this a kind of a starter or an amuse-bouche or?
Yeah, you could call it an amuse-bouche, but we build the menu in a different way. I mean, this is just a sequence of servings.
Okay.
It's more or less 15, 16 servings of of bites, really.
Okay.
Some bigger, some smaller. We see it more as a,
as a lineup.
Yeah, exactly.
Of different kind of food.
Exactly. And this is some preserves. This is cypress cones. Like when they're young, we take them and pickle them. They're extremely intense in this what do you call it? Like the pine nails way. We pickle a lot of pine. You'll also see a few ones later. The pine nails are like very rich, and they make so many different uses. Both the needles, the cones, the shoots, the flowers. It's an incredible family.
So almost the whole plant.
Basically, yes.
Used, basically, yeah.
Yeah, but not the log.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. These are flowers from flowering currants. I mean, the currants that doesn't make any berries. I mean, a few, but they taste like shit.
And you don't want to have point on a platter?
No.
Yes.
And
I agree with you.
And then, because it's, this time of year, we add some freshly chopped flowers to give it like just a floral note.
Not dried, fresh flowers.
Fresh.
Fresh flowers.
It's not only preserves.
Okay.
And then just some. This is charred garlic. Adds a bit of like roasted garlic taste.
Also bekohlter Knoblauch.
Genau.
Smells like char.
Yeah, it does.
And it tastes like?
Char.
More char or more?
It's like a burnt depth to it.
Char with a little bit of garlic coming up.
Yeah. So this is it. Easy.
And quite spicy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What do you want it?
Okay.
Where can I put it?
So the first dish, how do you name it?
I would name it, we call it cracker of preserves.
Presenting on the table on the other side. Das ist also das erste Gericht, ein Cracker mit Eingemachtem. Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren.
What now? Yes.
And every product comes from Bornholm, more or less.
I would say everything on that one.
Everything on that one.
No, not the cockles in the cockle emulsion.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes. The Bornholm is surrounded by the Baltic Sea, and the Baltic Sea is very low in salt, which makes it very difficult for shellfish to grow big.
Let's talk about salt. What do you think about this salt? Is it important in your cuisine, or do you try to use it as little as possible? Or
you can cut it. No, we use salt. We use salt, but we use a lot of nature salt. So we use salt. We make salt from ferments. We use salt, make salt from herbs and stuff like that. So we try to give it just a notch of something else. But of course we use salt.
Another touch.
Food without salt is could be a bit boring. But also we use a lot of pastes, reduced stuff that also provides a lot of salt.
Okay.
So salt comes in many ways, I would say.
Next dish?
Next dish is, to stay with the fish, is herring, salmon, and mackerel, a very classic Bornholm fish. I mean, it's classic for many places, but that is the best we get. We serve it with on a piece of bread.
Bread again.
Bread again. I don't know. That's a coincidence. We don't serve much bread.
What is to be said about the bread? Interesting.
This is rye bread, which is a classic Danish thing. Just crisped in butter. Added to it fresh cheese from goat's milk with raw chopped onions in it, shallots.
Okay.
And then cumin will provide the herring. We just sliced it a few times to break down the bones, because obviously herring is
it's bony.
It's very bony. So
it is indeed.
So to be able to serve it raw, it needs to be scored.
Okay. Entschuldige.
I mean, you've probably seen something like it in.
Also möglichst einschneiden, damit
Japan.
die kleinen Fischgräte, die halt im Hering immer vorhanden sind, dass die ein bisschen gebrochen und ein bisschen zerschnitten und damit auch leichter konsumierbar und nicht gefährlich sind. Huh? To tell it in German.
Yes, probably. So we add it to the.
And it looks nice.
It is nice.
So how important for you is the look of the food?
It's very important, but it's not the most important thing.
It's not the essential, huh?
No, it's not. I mean, concepts and looks are not important as the taste, obviously.
Yes.
But of course, if the food looks nice,
it helps.
It helps a lot. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it makes you feel better the chef as well, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
you feel proud of it in another way if it looks good.
When I've got the right information, so your first aim was not to become a chef; it was to become architect or artist or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. But obviously, I didn't have the talent. I guess, or
well, perhaps you had the talent, but you didn't find at the beginning the right one.
No, I mean, I was always, had a creative set of mind.
Yeah.
That's why I thought I would do it with architecture or design or something.
Yes.
But it ended up being food.
So, well, I mean, food design has a lot to do with kinds of art, even of architecture sometimes. When you think about Quique da Costa from Spain, who's creating kind of architecture on his platter. So
yep.
I think it's quite familiar. So what was the jelly you were putting on a fish?
This is a jelly made from or gel made from liquid, from preserving liquids.
Okay.
The idea here is only actually the most important thing on this is to keep these preserves that I add to the plate now, so they don't fall off, which is very essential.
Yeah, and the moisture as well, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and these are preserves from last year. Gooseberries that's been fermented, and beach onions, rosehip petals,
yes.
and rosehip berries.
Okay.
And wild onions.
Also, 2 Rad Zwiebeln und Rosehip, wie heißen die Dinge schon wieder? Die roten? Genau, Hagebutten, stimmt. In verschiedenen Varianten. Ich habe es vom geistigen Auge, allein es kommt nicht über die Zunge. So, this is the second dish.
Yeah, we're keeping the pace right.
Looks
I think.
simple.
It is very simple and yet very complex.
But preparation is quite. I mean, to put it on the platter is not as easy as that. So I understand why you went from 72 to 24.
Exactly.
If you have to do it 140 times a day, it's not the same thing as perhaps 30 times a day.
No, and I would definitely not be standing here.
Yeah, I think so. And we are grateful for that.
I mean, I wouldn't have time for it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, sure. So this was the herring. So the third one we're going to see.
I mean, let's just take all the fish.
Yeah.
I mean, the traditional ones.
Yeah.
Herring, mackerel, or mackerel herring, and then salmon.
The salmon. Rabbit.
Which is this one, of course. It was
Also
also
the preparation.
Bornholm is known for its smoked fish. Also, it's very traditional. On the island, which is, I mean, we're 40,000 people living on the island, and we have around 500 something chimneys, like the big chimneys.
Yeah, the big ones.
Yeah. Because that was everyone was doing it as a preservation method, but also commercially. Bornholm was exporting tons of smoked herring and salmon and mackerel to the rest of Denmark.
And the salmon comes from?
Yeah, that's the problem. This is not from Bornholm.
No,
because we have a lot of salmon in the Baltic, but we also have a lot of seals at the moment. So they are having a party. Yeah. So there's no salmon left for us, but this one is from the Faroes, and it's very good. So it's okay. So we just cut it open.
Yeah.
This salmon is prepared with two techniques. First it's salted for 3 days, while also drying. So the skin is completely dry, and then we cold smoke it for 7 hours.
Okay.
And after that, we hot smoke it.
Both?
Both, yes.
Does the wood play any...
Yes, the wood is essential. The wood is essential to make, I think, at least. The hot smoking is the most important thing to use. We use all the wood, and we cook the fish as we smoke it.
Yeah.
But to give it a bit more depth and a bit more complexity, we also cold smoke it. Okay. So we do this with the two methods.
Also gleich dreifach mit Salz, mit Warmräuchern, mit Kalträuchern und dann auch warm respektive heiß geräuchert, damit er auch eine gewisse Konsistenz bekommt. So, sieht hervorragend aus innen drin. Farbe ist jetzt auf dem Bild hier oben natürlich etwas weniger kräftig, aber hier also wirklich eine wunderschöne Farbe hat dieser Lachs, dieser geräucherte Lachs. Und mit schöner, natürlicher Maserung mit dem Fett, das nicht übertrieben da irgendwie Oberhand nimmt. Also sehr schön. Zum Teil läuft es natürlich dann auch ein bisschen aus, wenn natürlich heiß geräuchert wird und bekommt dann diese wunderschöne Farbe. So, what's the next step to do?
We need to put some small things on, but that's Cumin is doing it. This is chopped fig leaves. And
okay.
And also some young figs. That's also a thing for Bornholm. I mean, I guess it's not a big problem down here, but to grow things like figs in Denmark is
quite hard.
It's basically impossible. But the long summers on Bornholm and the different climate makes it possible for us to grow figs. So there's tons of fig trees on the island.
Okay.
Also mulberries and things like this.
Yeah, the climate is much, in summertime, is much, it's not so hard, so rough as on the other northern countries and in Denmark as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And being surrounded by the Baltic Sea makes the spring come later because it's a rocky island, so the rock is cold. The water keeps the island cold. But when it comes, it explodes, and then it holds the warm for a long
until October, around October.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we can't complain about that.
Also ganz spezielle klimatische Bedingungen auch auf Bornholm, die natürlich helfen, solche Sachen anzupflanzen, also Feigen und so Dinge, die eigentlich sonst im Norden nicht unbedingt heimisch sind, aber das Klima auf Bornholm macht es halt eben möglich in den Sommermonaten. Wer schon einmal die baltischen Staaten im Sommer erlebt hat und dort so um die 37, 38 Grad mitbekommen hat, mit auch 2 oder 3 Mücken begleitet, der weiß, wovon ich rede.
And these are elm seeds, seasonal beauties.
Okay.
Season is very short, and it's now, so we thought, why not bring it?
So very hot.
And this is oil made from fig leaves as well. And then we use whoopsie. It's fermented, that's why. This is tomato water, which we ferment.
Okay.
And use it year after year, so it's very nice.
Quite as a broth, almost.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Also fermentiertes Tomatenwasser wird dieser Lachs dann damit noch überträufelt. Yes, wonderful. Ich glaube, das ist mal Zeit für einen kleinen Applaus, nehme ich an. Huh?
Okay.
Looks all like snacks. You said you've got about 10, 12, 16 different dishes as a menu.
Yes.
Is there a limit, or?
Of course there's a limit. I mean, you could easily get bored as a guest. I mean, if it takes too long time, if it's too much food also, if it's too many impressions, if it's too powerful, if it's not, the variations are not there, it can be very boring.
But do you give the rhythm of the dishes, or is it the guest?
We try to decide it. I mean, you mean the pace?
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to keep the pace, but also we don't want to rush the guest. If some guest wants to eat a bit slow, we let them eat slow, and some wants to eat fast, typically chefs, and we push it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tell them, you know what it's about in the kitchen, so hurry up.
Yeah.
You know how it works in the kitchen.
Exactly.
So you're just
we see
holding us back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to, yeah.
So we've seen the cracker, we've seen the herring, we've seen the salmon. The next one is the...
What should we do next, Kimon?
Scallop or the asparagus?
Yes. Let's do the scallop.
The scallop.
This is my favorite.
So a raw scallop.
Raw scallop, yes. These are hand-dyed scallops.
Rohe Jakobsmuschel.
From Norway.
From Norway. The best one come from the north of Faroe Islands, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's said.
Something like that.
They're big. They need years and years to grow.
Exactly.
So they have the best quality.
So the scallops are raw, and
at least that is what Raoul Siska says. So.
Yeah, of course.
He has to, huh?
Yeah, he has to.
Yes, you know him?
Yeah, I do. And I bet Espen would say something else from my...
Yeah, I think so. So this is what's wonderful. Everybody of those chefs is so convinced of the products he uses. It's wonderful to talk about this stuff as well.
I can at least admit that the seafood from Bornholm is not the best.
Okay.
The blue mussels, they get this big.
Small like this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know.
Not usable?
No.
Not really?
So, no. So I added a paste made from dried scallops.
Yes.
We take the scallops and dry them and blitz them into a powder, and we mix them into a very reduced mussel stock. So it becomes this pasty, creamy texture.
Aha. Also die Muschel wird auch getrocknet, gefaltet, getrocknet, zusammengedrückt, für dass sie wirklich dann schlussendlich praktisch keine Flüssigkeit mehr enthält.
And then we add a bit of oil made from hemp. And for those of you who don't know what hemp is, it's like the wheat, grass, marijuana. But we get it, of course, without the THC.
I didn't want to explain, but yes.
No, but I mean, it's nothing dangerous about it. It's no THC.
Listen, you're in Switzerland, it's legal here.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
But it's very nice. I mean, you wouldn't get the...
THC is quite low.
Make the guests get, high. And these... Oh, sorry, the cream is infused. It's cream. It's infused with horseradish. And then these...
Yes?
Yeah. And then these small beauties here are... these are Scots pine pollen.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the flowers from the Scots pine. And they look like this when they're fresh.
Can we hold it in the camera? Also so sehen die aus, diese kleinen Fruchtstände der Pinien, also in diesem Moment, die dort dann fermentiert, eingelegt, gepickelt werden.
Yeah.
And that's now the scallop.
Yeah, and on the paste was dried and rehydrated carrots.
Uh-huh.
So we cook the carrots completely through, so we break down all the fibers, and then we dry them completely, and then we rehydrate them in a liquid of juice and butter, and then we fry them so they get like super chewy and fluffy and very, very nice texture. All the work is for the texture.
Ja, okay. Also Karotten, die komplett getrocknet werden und dann rehydriert werden und schlussendlich noch ausfrittiert werden. Das kriegt dann so eine ganz bestimmte Konsistenz mehr. Riecht ganz, ganz intensiv nach Karottensaft. Völlig verrückt. Huh? It's got juice of carrots.
That's the dried one. This is the rehydrated.
This is the rehydrated,
yeah.
Yes, but this is the dry one.
Yeah.
And it smells of juice.
Yeah, it's super good. And this is dried mussel juice. We make this, we call it mussel licorice because it tastes a bit like raw licorice. We make it by reducing mussel stock totally. We make maybe a big pot of mussel juice, mussel broth, and then we reduce it until it's like this much left in the pot.
How many times on the oven?
And then after that, actually, we put it in dehydrator, so we dry it.
Yeah, completely out.
Yeah, and then we can start folding it. So we start folding it and dry it more, and in the end, we have this brick that is dry. that we can grate on. It's like a super powerful umami boost. It's fantastic.
Okay. Yes, a really umami bomb.
Yeah, totally.
A really umami bomb.
And it tastes a bit like actually as raw licorice.
Yeah.
It has its depth to it. And this is the fresh pollen. And then this is botaga, like salted and dried scallop roe.
Ja.
Sorry, which you just grate on.
Also, da kommt noch die gesalzene und getrocknete, aus der rohen Muschel gesalzene und getrocknete Späne noch drauf. Auch natürlich von der Muschel, die wir vorher hatten.
And the idea of serving it on ice is to let the ice chill the dish, which makes it even better. And while you eat it, you feel it getting colder and colder, which is a very nice experience.
So it's only said when it's cold, you don't get real taste.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the opposite?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's not the opposite, but you will still feel the taste. And it becomes more clean and more...
It's another feeling.
Yeah, another feeling, and you still have there's tons of taste in this. So
okay.
We can't drown the taste in that one.
Okay. Shall I bring it on the other side?
Yes, please, thank you.
I do it. Thank you. So, this is number 4 of 6 dishes. Die rohe Muschel mit, habe ich richtig gezählt, 7, 8 ingredients.
Something like that, yeah, and no salt.
And no salt. No, we've been talking about salt already.
It doesn't need it.
Okay. So what is there already one of? Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
It's your work. Is there one of them a favorite of you, or?
I like the scallop very much. It's very surprising when you eat it. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's a favorite amongst many guests as well.
Who has the ideas in your kitchen? Is this you? Is this the whole team? Is this the head chef? Is it? Who is it?
I have a lot of ideas, but mostly it's my narrative, and we build it together, Cumin and I. Mm-hmm. But also, I mean, it's mainly Cumin and I doing the food, and but we also put out tasks or projects to the staff, so they get involved and evolving on whatever, dried something, and they go completely nerding about it, because we don't have the time to nerd, but they can do that aside of making mise en place and running service.
You got not the time to nerd. Okay. So
not enough time.
Not enough time. But you would like to have more time to nerd, I think.
Yes.
Isn't it?
I would love it. Yes. Of course.
This nerden.
That's the fun part.
That's the fun part of life.
Yeah, so
that's what today Ryan Clift said, that he has no Ferrari, but he has a laboratory in his restaurant in Singapore. This is amazing, and that's where he can play.
Yeah. We don't even have that. I mean, we're actually building one now.
Good. Good idea.
We're actually building a test kitchen now, because.
But you agree with Titi Kwansen, who said before, it's better in a kitchen. You don't have this matcha thing and this chef going in front and everybody behind him. It's a teamwork, and everybody has the right to help along and to be part of this kitchen, isn't it?
No.
Chop.
Chop, chop.
Chop, 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 chop.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, we need time. We need time to play, and we need time to don't be disturbed by service, and don't be disturbed by prepping and mise en place. And when we do it now at home, we get completely confused, because we are standing in the middle, and we're facing the end of a table and don't have any space, and because in the end, the most important thing is that the guests, they get the food they pay for.
Get surprised, isn't it? What's this now?
This is another story of another one from the pine ales.
Aha. Also das sind die Zapfen.
This is a cone from the tree, from the nobilis tree, the silver fir tree.
Okay.
They get this big.
Uh-huh.
They grow in the top of the trees. They're like 12 around 12 meters high.
Okay.
And they only grow on the top, so we have to get these long ladders and
To get up.
yeah, and risk our lives to pick them. But it's worth it.
It's worth it?
Yeah, it is. So these we both.
May I try one?
Yes, of course. We both pick them young, and when they're big. I think these young ones are they're very cute.
It's like they have a lot of tannin.
There's a lot of tannin, yeah.
Huh?
When they get older, the tannin
Gets rounder and,
yes,
and
it does.
smoother.
Yeah, and then we.
But this is really, it dries your tongue directly.
Yeah, it does. But we pickle them, and we can use them for several years. I mean, they actually gets better and better year after year.
Year after year. Okay.
Thank you.
Very special taste. Not too sour, but really you
Very aromatic as well.
it's like licking a not so old barrel. Huh?
Yeah.
Oak barrel, something like that. Huh? Also als ob man ein noch ziemlich frisches Stück aus einem Eichenfass über die Zunge gehen lassen würde. So etwa wirkt das mit dem Tannin, das darin enthalten ist. Ganz spannender Geschmack. This is now
Asparagus.
the asparagus.
We cook asparagus almost every year with like around the same ingredients because we think we've found a match that is very, very good.
Which
With-
ingredients?
We use woodruff and blackcurrant leaves. The blackcurrant leaves perfume matches perfectly. with asparagus
Okay.
and also woodruff. And then we always make a broth of something fermented, pea juice,
Yeah.
fermented pea juice, fermented white asparagus juice.
Pea juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually mix it with some kind of mussel stock.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the chopped herbs inside the mix of the asparagus is orpin and blackcurrant leaves.
That's what we used to pick as little boys.
Yes, exactly. It tastes like
And we made
almost like wine gum.
some honey out of it.
We still do it.
Yeah. Yeah. With my grandma, we had to run around in springtime in the wood, at home, in the mountains, in the valley.
Yeah.
We're not so amused.
And they still taste good, I would say.
Yeah. Very good.
And then these small beauties on.
Ja. Jetzt diese gepickelten
Nobilis.
Zapfenblätter, wenn man die so nennen will, diese ganz, ganz frischen Kerne.
That's it.
Huh.
So it's very simple.
Looks nice, würde ich mal sagen. Ne? Kurzer Blick drauf. Ja. Also, Spargel, einmal ein bisschen anders, klein geschnibbelt, mit fermentiertem. Sieht wunderbar aus. Ich bin wirklich gespannt, wie das schmeckt. Da werde ich, bevor ihr dann alle hochstürmt, ein bisschen davon probieren. And the last one,
The last one,
number 6.
number 6, is pumpkin, which we every year make a lot of. We pickle it like in a slightly sweet pickle.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. So we can keep it throughout the year. And then we take the pickled pumpkin, which is quite acidic, put it on the grill, or the barbecue, glaze it with a glaze we make from fermented honey and quince juice. So it gets nice and sweet and deep from the burning sugar. And then we
That's the fermented honey.
that's the fermented honey he's putting on right now.
How does this smell?
Yeah.
Also fermentierter Honig mit diesen gepickelten Kürbissen.
Yes, of course.
Ja. Leicht säuerlich, wie sich das für Fermentiertes ja gehört, auch beim Honig. Das ist nicht viel anders. Wird ein bisschen Säure zurückgeben mit der Süße zu den doch sehr süßlich geprägten, auch wenn sie gepickelt sind, süßlich geprägten Pumpkin oder eben Kürbis. And this one?
This is grilled pickled rose petals, or fried.
Also Rosenblätter.
Yes. And then wood ants.
und Ameisen. Also kann man mit der Kamera kommen und sich diese Ameisen hier anschauen? Nur falls Naturschützer der radikalen Art hier sind, sie leben nicht mehr. Einstmals rote Waldameisen. Da erinnert man sich ja, wenn man sich irgendwo im Wald hinhockt im Sommer mit etwas kurzen Hosen, dann kann man noch so müde sein, man wird plötzlich sehr, sehr schnell und sehr, sehr wach. So what is the idea behind those little beasts?
We use them as a spice. It's not just a...
So this is the acidity, or what
It's
is
the
it?
acidity, yeah.
Acetylsäure, glaube ich, ist das?
It could be, yes, the ant acid, or the acids from the ant.
Yeah.
What? Formic acid. Thank you.
And compared with the living ones, it does not hurt when you eat it?
No, it doesn't.
Huh? Yeah, I try, sure, I try. I mean, that's why I'm here.
You should chew it. Then you... One ant per person. Yeah.
Very sour. Also, das schmeckt im Mund genau gleich, als wenn man in einem Ameisenhaufen einen Stock reinschiebt, mit der Nase hinterhergeht. Das schmeckt genauso. Haben Sie das schon mal gemacht? Natürlich muss man nachher laufen, aber es ist... It's sour.
It's sour. It's sour. Beautiful taste.
Ja. Aber es brennt ein bisschen auf der Zunge. Also es ist nicht so, dass das Zeug vollständig entschärft ist. It hurts a little bit. It burns a little bit on the tongue.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Spice.
Spice, yeah.
So
It's not like chili.
Right? Yeah.
It's not like going up like mustard into the nose.
No.
It sticks.
Something different, but it's also a little bit tropical in a way. It has these notes of something you don't find in the Nordic regions.
And what do you say to people who say, I don't eat this, I don't eat ants?
Then we try to convince them to do it anyway, but if they don't want, of course they shouldn't do it. I mean,
we have actually, during this year and last year, we had a big discussion in Switzerland about insects.
Yeah.
And we got now in several supermarkets, we've got insect products, burgers and such things. Yeah. Denmark, same thing?
No, it's definitely on people's minds, but it's not getting big. Not yet, but it will.
Not yet.
It will. Some people tries to to push it and to make it happen. I think it's would be nice to have more insects.
Also, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, wir haben hier einen gepickelten Kürbis mit fermentiertem Honig, Rosenblättern, mit roten Waldameisen, die diese Säure beifügen, kann ich mir sehr gut vorstellen, mit der Süße des Honigs. Und das 6. Gericht. And the last one, the sauce.
Sauce made from buttermilk and fermented white asparagus juice. So this is a very acidic, fresh, and also a very powerful dish.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
So it's not only butter and cold sauce, it's real sauce.
It's real sauce, yes.
Not like Titti said before, because Sweden is the only place. Did you hear it?
No.
That Sweden is the only place where you can put melted butter on the table, call it sauce, and people accept it.
Oh.
Isn't it?
You could also do that in Denmark.
You can also do that in Denmark.
If the potatoes on you.
If potatoes are with them. Okay, wonderful. So, we've got those 6 dishes. Ladies and gentlemen, ich glaube, das ist einen herzhaften Applaus wert. Und ich glaube, Bornholm rückt mit dieser Geschichte jetzt etwas mehr ins Zentrum eurer Aufmerksamkeit. Wenn ihr euch überlegt, mal nach Norden zu fahren und dort die Küche zu probieren, dann findet das eben nicht nur irgendwo in Kopenhagen, in Malmö, in Stockholm, in Oslo oder oben im Niemandsland bei Magnus Nilsson statt, sondern es findet auch auf Bornholm statt und er ist einer dieser Vertreter, die das in Perfektion beherrschen. So, what is the next aim?
The next what?
The next thing. What are you going to do next? I mean, you've got now the 2 restaurants. You've got one a little bit smaller. You've got a laboratory preparing. What's the next?
We're opening a restaurant this Tuesday, actually.
Where?
In Copenhagen.
Again?
Yeah.
So you make one smaller to reopen another.
Yeah.
Is this logical?
We also making a butchery at the moment.
Okay.
On Bornholm.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's also going to be a thing for this year.
But only for you use or for everyone as well?
No, like a
also make a business out of it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, a commercial one. So, but also so we can raise and use a lot more of our
So comes from the farm, from the farm to the plater.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to do that even more.
Wonderful.
So we're working on that. Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing more from you and your team. How many are you in the kitchen now on Bornholm and in Copenhagen?
Copenhagen usually around, 12, 14.
7 chefs, 4 interns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. Next time on Bornholm, not by sailing, on boat.
Swimming?
Security. No, I was sailing there. They saved my life up there.
Yeah.
I got lost somewhere in the sea.
Yeah, but you
a
can
long history, long story.
Fly.
Story. I'll fly.
25 minutes from Copenhagen. It's easy.
Ja, it's much better. So,
No excuse.
meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, die dürfen sich jetzt natürlich diese Sachen hier auch noch anschauen, ein paar Fotos machen und wenn Kopenhagen, wenn der Norden auf dem Programm steht, dann ist dieser Mann mit seinem Team sicherlich mehr als einen Besuch wert. Er hat ja mittlerweile 3 Restaurants, also Kreditkarte einpacken und los geht's. Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, Nicolai Nørregaard und Kim Han vom Kadeau in Bornholm und in Kopenhagen.